Hello, friends. Happy Tuesday. What am I doing here? This is called active procrastinating. I've got things, but those things didn't seem as timely as, dropping in and saying hello on a Tuesday. See what everybody's up to. How's your day starting out? I've had a pretty busy morning, I'm going to be honest. I watched Jeffrey chased after a deer, so that was pretty exciting. I got a workout in, which is always a good way to start the day. I cut my own hair. I know the world is opening back up, but I'm just not sure that I'm going back to barbers. And I just drank a bunch of water and it's stuck in my mustache. Good morning. I'm very excited. This is going to be a good, big week in the life of this guy right here on Thursday. Just 2 days from now, I am officially revealing the cover of my next book. Ooh, I'm very excited about that. When I do, I'm going to tell you about all the fun things you get when you decide to pre-order said book. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to start doing lives a little bit more often. One of the things that will be included in the lead up to the book coming out in October is me showing up on the regular inside of this little device right here for probably Monday, Wednesday, Friday lives. I mean, Monday, Wednesday with me, Friday with me and John. But I'm super, super excited about it. The book is called Built Through Courage. It comes out October 26th, and I cannot wait. There's so many exciting things that are happening around the launch. I'm excited about it. What's good in your world? Tell me something good. Somebody in the chat, say something about what's happening so I can shout you out. I got to get back to a day full of stuff, and I don't want to do that yet. I want to celebrate you. Happy Father's Day. Thank you. I appreciate that. I am super grateful for my Father's Day experience. It was a baseball tournament. It was a win at a baseball tournament. Thank goodness for that. Also, I can even say this though. Father's Day in transition, like relationship change, is a kind of interesting thing also in that, I was not expecting some of the emotion that I ended up feeling on Father's Day. If you're a person who's gone through divorce, maybe that's a thing that you can resonate with. I found myself in like the way that grief ends up kind of coming in waves in all of this experience. I spent a little bit of time not grieving where I'm at, because I'm super happy about everything that's happened, all the good that's come in this last little more than a year's worth of time. But there is, I think, this natural tendency to maybe grieve what could have been or what would have been when you're having a day like a Father's Day. It's just a weird phenomenon. But it was a really, really good weekend. I had a fun weekend. Heidi came into town, which was like, holy cow. She was so amazing in helping the kids get gifts going. And we had a very, very nice morning of breakfast, got out to the baseball field, and Sawyer's baseball team won the entire stinkin tournament, which was amazing. So amazing. So I'm excited about that. I put up a post today. It was a really cool conversation that I had yesterday that I reference in this post. I even put it in my stories last night. So you may be sick of this kind of a story, but I think it's an important thing just to spend 2 beats on. I had a conversation yesterday with Lolo Jones. So if you're not familiar with her, she's a 3-time Olympian. She's going to be a future guest on the podcast. Super, super excited. It was like the most amazing conversation. But one of the things that stood out that I just thought, man, this is extraordinary and is worthy of making a post and having a conversation even right now about it. She trains like 6 days a week as a hurdler, right? She runs the hurdles at the Olympic level. She's one of the best people in the entire world. And she spends 6 days a week training for something that ends up only taking 12 seconds when she gets to the race, right? So years of time. She is spending doing what is often like boring, mundane, routine, just having the same kind of practice over and over, the same kind of sessions, the same kind of discipline every single day, so that she can get to a 12-second race and have done every single thing possible to make sure that she is as prepared as she can be to win that race, hurdles. And what I thought was so crazy, and we end up getting into this in the conversation on the podcast, is there's an analogy to life. Like, all of us are inevitably going to be faced with a 12-second hurdle kind of thing that shows up in our life. Unlike her, right? She knows when the race is scheduled. She is training to get to a place where the starter's gun is going to shoot at a very specific time. And we collectively are faced with 12-second hurdle challenges when life decides to shoot the trigger of that starter's pistol when we least expect it. And when it comes to that question of training or how you're training or what you're training for, the thing that just really stuck with me, whoever needs to hear this today, is when we are faced with the promise, that guarantee of the starter pistol, shooting the challenge of having to jump over some hurdles in our own life, will we be prepared to handle it because of the kind of training that we've done to be ready when it shows up? It's inevitable. It's going to show up. It's a guarantee. Will we be ready? Will we be ready? And I know, hey, I have this ambition to be a great dad. And yet there are 12-second bursts of hurdles that show up when my kids are kids. And so the question of whether I've done the kind of things that I need to do with my emotional work and my mental health work and my, all of that, to actually be prepared to show up the way that I'd hope to show up in those 12 seconds ends up being something that isn't about training for a starting line or training for a race that has a defined point. It's like training every day for life so that you're just ready for whatever ends up showing up. I, like you, am someone who has the voices in my head telling me that I'm not good enough on certain days. I saw this thing yesterday. Anyone else follow Humans of New York? Goodness gracious. It was just it's such an interesting, awesome commentary on the humanity that we all share. And there was this person that put up a post yesterday named Luke. And Luke happens to be a heavyset person. And Luke is just the copy of this picture of him describing that he has this appetite to have a wife, that he wants to be a dad, that he has never had a girlfriend, and that he doesn't in part because he's always been, his words, the fat, funny friend, right? He created a little bit of an identity that would have him as a part of his defense mechanisms before someone else could make fun of him, being the person who would make fun of himself. And so as he's always the one making a joke about the size of the cake or the way that when he takes his shirt off to jump in the pool, right, he is preempting the possibility of getting made fun of by making fun of himself first. And what he realizes in this beautiful, heartbreaking post is that he has allowed this device that he had as a preservation mechanism compromise the way that he actually sees himself, right? And I think there's so many of us who have a Luke-like syndrome that when we have our insecurities triggered, make fun of ourselves first. Let that voice in our head say the thing out loud that might keep us from having to be exposed as not fully ready or not totally enough. And that is an example of a 12-second hurdle moment that, goodness, is going to just require so much training and so much work so that when it happens, because it's not if, it's when it happens, that's when you end up needing to rely on rewiring, rewriting, having a different kind of narrative that you can lean on because, goodness, I'm super excited. I started this by saying, hey, 2 days from now, I'm going to reveal the cover of the book. And then we're going to have a 13 weeks worth of conversation leading into the book. And I'm so excited about it. And that excitement is balanced against my own fear of putting myself out there. And once again, trying to be vulnerable in the things that I write about where I've been and where I'm going. And there are plenty of days. I mean, there are days in real time where I can hold both of those things at the exact same time, pride for what I've become and insecurity that I'm still not yet enough, or pride for what I have created in this book and insecurity for what people are going to say that don't like the darn thing that I've made. And when those voices, those things start showing up in my life, man, I have to ask, did I do enough work sitting on my patio of peace? Have I had enough in my spiritual relationship with God affirming that I am already enough irrespective of the way anyone might receive me? Have I moved my body enough to change the way that I might be thinking when I start getting in a funk? So I ask you, right, if you haven't given consideration to what you are training for, right? You're training, I'm training for a race. But like truly, it's not so much about this race in July or the race that follows it in September, October. Like I am training so that when I am faced with the things that would derail me or keep me from being the kind of light that I'd hope to be, the kind of dad I'd hope to be, the kind of person I'd like to feel like when I am by myself, then I better be doing some of that work on an every single day basis so that when life, not on my schedule, but on life's schedule, shoots the starter's pistol for the hurdle race that I am going to have to face, that I'm ready to handle it, right? Love that analogy. Good analogy. What else is going on? What's on your mind? Is my book going to be on audio? Heck yeah, my book's going to be on audio. I have not yet recorded it. It's a very strange window of time. I'd said this is active procrastinating. My final version of edits, any notes, this is like the last chance to do literally anything to the book. I have to turn it in tomorrow night. And so I find myself in real time, I was talking to Heidi about this last night, like stirred up a little bit as I'm going through one last time, looking at this book, 280 pages worth of my thoughts and my feelings and my emotion and my hope that you might actually take something away and apply it to your own life. And I'm like, man, I hope this is good. Man, I hope this connects. I hope this reaches the intended audience. I hope it has the kind of impact that I'm hoping for. And at the end of the day, you put yourself out there and you have to just let go of like thinking that you are going to create something that is going to be universally loved and received and hope that it just reaches the people that it's meant to reach. So anyway, I'm looking through the final version today. They sent me, they call it a proof, the proof of what it actually looks like at the printer so that I can, formatting wise, see the formatting and make any notes on some of the illustrations that we put in. And when the chapter header starts on this page, is the font this size or that size? So I'm super excited about that. That's something to look forward to. What else is going on in your lives? What else is happening out there? I mean, I do have to actually go back to finish reading this darned book. I'll come back on tomorrow. And then again on Thursday to hopefully get you all excited about this book coming out. Someone said they liked the last book. I appreciate that. And one of the things that I'm going to do too, which is super exciting, I have a new website that's going to come out that'll also actually showcase all the fun stuff that's going to happen. I've never had a website of my own. So I'm super happy to also direct people to something called MrDaveHollis.com. I mean, why not? Someone said, what's up with all the scorpions? What is up with all the scorpions? If you saw my stories last night, Noah and I went out for our evening dip. She's, become quite the swimmer, had a swimming class and has become quite the swimmer. But I went out there, 2 scorpions inside the pool. And so I dragged one up and was able to get it out of the pool. But goodness gracious. So you asked, do I have a P.O. box? I do have a P.O. box, but I don't remember what the P.O. box is. But I'll find it, and I'll find some way to share it. So if you're interested in sending something, I appreciate that. We need another Ford takeover. Wasn't Ford amazing? I mean, goodness gracious, this kid, he's like the deepest thinker. He is like the most mature human, and he's got like these like very deep, super emotional insights and takes on life and in the world. And I'm so grateful for that kid. But he's also often he's saying something that is making me think in a completely different way. And God, I love that our kids can give us a perspective that we just might miss. I don't know if you guys saw, we made, he really wanted to create an episode of a thing on YouTube. And we've been like very very like, I'm not sure, Ford. YouTube is good and bad. We had to have a long conversation about like, if we're going to do this, we cannot look at the number of views. We cannot look at the number of likes. You cannot read the comments. But we decide, you know what, cool, we'll do this thing. It's called Ford for Thought. And he comes up with the topic. The first topic was all about dreams. He wanted to have a conversation about dreams. And it was great. So I put it up, it's on YouTube, and 6 hours later, kid shoots me a text. He's like, look at how many views we're getting. I'm like, nope, this might be the last episode of Ford for Thought because we made an agreement, brother. We are not looking at views. We're not looking at likes. We can't, like, it's such a double-edged sword. And I want to encourage him to create. And I want to encourage him to like be excited about like the things that he gets excited about. He's super, super excited about being able to do stuff on YouTube. But man, I don't know. If you're a parent, where's the like line? Are you allowing your kids to create and do things? Are you not? It's such an interesting thing to try and work through in real time because I love it. And I also know what happens when you put something up that people don't like. You put something up that doesn't get as many views, and all of a sudden your worth ends up being connected in some ways to the number of views. So I'm trying to find a way to put up the next episode. Maybe I'll put it up on IGTV because I think you can do IGTV without actually showing views. And then that way, maybe there's a way to allow this thing to keep happening, but not have it be connected to anything externally validating or affirming that it's good or that he's good. It's such a crazy, crazy thing. What else is going on a Tuesday? Yeah, like creating to create, but not creating for the affirmation is such an important thing, and it's such a hard thing, right? Like it's an easy thing to say and a hard thing to necessarily live by. I wrote about in the next book my experience of writing the first book, where I was writing that book in the shadow of like a unicorn black swan event in both of Rachel's books having been so stinking big that the way that I was worried about, well, will this book be compared to hers? Will it be too similar? Will it be compared with how many copies it sells? And I was given this gift. It was just like the most amazing gift. Just about a week before the book came out, one of the people that was on the launch team sent me over a note that her neighbor had asked, having seen that she was reading the book, if he could read the book. He read the book and sent her back a note about the impact that the book had had on him, that he was going to think differently about how he was showing up for his wife and going to be a little more present for his daughters. And in that single note, it was like, oh, the thing I was hoping for in creating this was impact. And I mistakenly was associating impact with it having to hit a certain threshold. And I was wrong because impact of a single person is enough to have created the thing in the first place, right? If you could change the life of one person, would that not be enough? If you could maybe make somebody who doubts that they have the capacity to do a certain thing believe that they do, you've changed the world. You've changed the world of that person and every person inside of their world. And so there's something crazy. Like if you're someone who creates, right? There's so often this thing, I think, that we worry about the 10 people that will definitely not like our creation if the 90 people that could have been affected by it would have been affected by it in a positive way. We'll still focus on those 10, right? I really do believe, like out of 100 people that you're trying to make something for, build something for, do something for, 10% of them are just going to hate the thing that you create and probably be jerks about it. But human nature tends to have us focusing on those 10 instead of the 90. And it's just like, my goodness, at the expense of the 90 who could have had something in light, we're going to have a hard time allowing the 90 people who could have gotten something because we're worried about the 10. It's mental karate, and you got to just like get to a point where you don't worry about it. And yet it's still such a hard thing. Oh, I saw someone say my book tour was canceled from last time. I know, like, if there was a thing that I really do have like sadness for at what was the impact of, all of the craziness of this last year. I mean, I've got a lot of things that were super sad, but man, I wish I could have had the book come out even just like a month earlier, because I was so looking forward to the book tour. It was like one of the things I was most looking forward to. It was gonna be so fun to be able to get out, see people, interact, have conversations about the book. And it was the day before the first tour stop that Tom Hanks has it, Europe's not gonna travel anymore, the NBA is shutting down, and it was just the end. So, God, it was just like, it's such a bummer. And the thing is, I see that people still have tickets. And like, I didn't sell the stinking tickets. They were sold by these venues. I have begged these venues, like, give these human beings their stinking money back. If you haven't got your money back, let's do a letter writing campaign to these venues and get you some freaking money back. But I'm gonna redo the tour this year. God willing, it's not gonna be canceled. I am super, super excited about it. But anyway, it was a bummer. It was a bummer. All right, what else is good? What else is going on? I mean, this is a random hangout. I mean, just to give you a sense of how excited Jeffrey is about this conversation. Living his best life. I mean, living his best life. Oh, good times. Good times. Well, I guess that's it for now. I'll come back and see how everybody's doing tomorrow. We can hang out. What's your new challenge? Heidi and I are going to do a physical challenge, a fitness challenge of some kind. We're still working it up, so stay tuned for that. I am as a part of the launch window of my book. Comes out in October. We're going to do 13 weeks of challenge. It's about 90 days worth of challenge. And each week there's going to be a different topic, and we're going to have conversations in the morning. And then if you pre-order, we're going to create a private Facebook group and do some coaching once a week for free. I think it's going to be on Monday nights, where we'll talk, create a community of like-minded people, and encourage each other for the 90 days leading on into my book launch. I'm super, super excited about that. So I'll tell you all about it on Thursday. Is Heidi feeling better? She is feeling better. She's still she's on an antibiotic. It looks like it's helping those things that were kind of having her feel a little listless and have a little less energy. So thank goodness for that. Thank you so much for all y'all and your concern. I appreciate that. I'm gonna go out and see her later on this week. How's Brady? Brady's good. Brady has been both Brady and Lynn, they've been so busy. Summer for them, they are they are so crazy busy doing all the things. They've got, I think, each of the kids in a different kind of camp, and then his work has been super busy, which is great. He works inside of the entertainment business, and when COVID hit, man, it was so hard as a manager or agent of talent to book or do anything with the people that are on his roster. And now that the world's opening back up and everybody's able to start getting back on sets, he's been busy stinking Brady. Are the kids excited for summer? Heck yes, they are excited for summer. I'm also excited for summer in that they are so looking forward to summer camp. They go to a summer camp here in Texas for 3 weeks worth of time. It is a thing that they look forward to all year round. And it's a thing that I look forward to all year round, because there's nothing like them being tech-free in the wilderness, in the heat of Texas, where there's lakes and adventure, fun, and friends. And it gives a little bit of peace to the people that are here hanging out without them actually being there. Noah doesn't go to camp yet. She'll, I think, go next year. But they're super excited about it. And then we're going to finish up summer with a California trip to go out and see the cousins, my parents. So I'm looking forward to that. Oh, yeah, I'm going to the Dominican Republic next week. That'll be exciting. There's this amazing charity. It's called Help One Now. They have a relationship in 8 different countries where systemic and generational poverty has existed for just years and years and years. And they have teams that work with the local infrastructure agencies, governments on the ground to help build out infrastructure to empower people on the ground to break some of that historic systemic poverty. And so Heidi and I are heading to the Dominican Republic a week from yesterday. We're going to go Monday through Thursday next week to try and be as supportive as we possibly can, learn as much as we possibly can about what's happening, and I'll probably come back and represent how there are ways for you to also participate if you find yourself called to also participate in helping people who need the help. So I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot of things. Like, I've, number one, never been to the Dominican Republic. I am reading through all of the information, and as a practical, pragmatic person, it makes my brain spin a little bit, I'll be honest. I'm doing a lot of things to make sure I am in the best health possible so that when I get there, I can be there and not be in the bathroom the entire time or anything else. I'm going to be healthy and strong and be as supportive as I possibly can be. So, hey Zoe and Reagan, what's happening? Shout out. All right. Have yourself a fantastic Tuesday. I'll see you tomorrow. Let's hang out again. Talk to you soon. Bye.